All right, what's going on, Cody? It's been awesome. We've seen just in the last few months you've been able to achieve some pretty remarkable results. So, what's your life like right now?
Well, right now, I just got a new house. I just turned 21 last month, my first house I've ever had. And it's actually about 20 minutes from here in Centennial Hills, 5-bed, 3-bath, 4,500 square foot, gated community, really nice area. And it's great. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it.
Awesome, dude. So, what type of results have you been able to accomplish? What are you able to do now? What's your life kind of like?
Well, last month was kind of slow. I had to move, like I was saying. I moved from a different town over here, and I only worked about 2.5 weeks because of that. It just took some time off to really focus on the move, and last month I made about $14,000.
So you made $14,000 only working 2.5 weeks while you're moving?
Yeah, and working on my own time, no alarm clocks, just wake up whenever I want, go to bed whenever I want. It's like, okay, we'll do a little bit of work here. It's nothing big, 10, 12 hours a day like most other people do. It's just a few hours here, a few hours there, and just really work around my own schedule.
That's just so cool to see, being able to make that much income. Now you have the freedom to do whatever it is that you want to be able to do. You got a nice, beautiful house. What was your life like before all of this? Before, if we take it back a little while, was your life always like that, or what was your life like before?
Yeah, before this, I was actually a mechanic. I was just turning wrenches. I went to school for it, spent $60,000 on it, and that's what I was told my whole life. Go to college, get a good job, and pay off college for the rest of your life, and that's supposed to be the good life. Still working for someone else, 10 hours a day, whatever they tell you, and that's supposed to be the life that everybody wants. And it's it just wasn't for me. It made no sense to me. A few months in, I instantly knew I didn't want to do it, and I'm glad that I found this opportunity.
Yeah, I can totally remember. I remember working at a job, and it was just we were taught, go to school, get good grades, so that hopefully you can retire by the time you're 65. However, a percentage of the money you were struggling to live off for 40 years of your life, and it's just something that it didn't really make sense to me either. So that's really cool. That's cool. When you were growing up, how was your life growing up? When were you wealthy? Were you struggling from? How was it like growing up?
Well, when I was growing up, it was actually worse than what I was doing turning wrenches. That was the best part of my life up until recently. When I was growing up, I was in a very poor family. I've never been on a vacation in my life. I've never been in a house in my life. And we've actually been homeless for, part of the time here and there. We've been evicted from apartments left and right for not being able to pay, and having cars breaking down on us in the middle of the road in the middle of Vegas in 110-degree heat. And that's what I grew up my whole entire life, up until just recently. It's been like that.
Wow, so that's amazing to go from that type of a lifestyle to making $14,000 a month when you're just so your life's completely changed from that. That's so awesome to see. So when you first got into the community here, what do you think was your biggest struggle?
It really wasn't that big of a struggle. It was all really about just mindset. And when I came in, I just knew it was real. I've seen other people do it, and I knew it wasn't gonna. If I've seen other people do it, I know that I can do it. And it wasn't just seeing one person do it. I came into this community and I see thousands of people in here, and they're all doing it. It's if they can all do it, why wouldn't I be able to? There wasn't really any hard part about it, really. It was all extremely simple. The hard parts about it were done for me by mentors and people who already know how to do it. And I didn't have to take it over until I decided I want to. And they had step-by-step training for it all, and they led me through it all and made sure I knew it all before I took it all over on my own. I mean, it was really simple.
Dude, it's so awesome to see. I'm the same way too. When I look at something, when I first got into the space, it was if I just see one person do it, then I know okay, then if they did it, I know it's possible. You know what I mean? That's all you got to see. One person did it, I can do it. And that's what I love about you too, is you're always going in with this super high level of confidence in everything that you do. And there's no wonder you've been able to go out and achieve such amazing results. What do you think was the biggest breakthrough that you had in achieving the results that you've had so fast?
The biggest breakthrough, most people wouldn't see it as a good thing, but for me, just a few months ago, end of January actually, I was in a head-on car crash with a Ford F-150 on the highway, put out of work. I was no longer able to be a mechanic anymore. I broke my leg, had surgery on it, was in the ER for a week. Still to this day, I can barely walk very well. I can barely go upstairs and stuff. I still wouldn't be able to go back to that job being a mechanic. And that right there is really what got me to sit down and focus on this. It gave me the time that I needed and everything like that, and I was just stuck in bed at this time. And it just gave me the time to really focus on this business and my mindset and all that.
I love how you say that, like, my biggest breakthrough, and because most people look at a situation like that and they get into a head-on collision. They're not thinking like, oh, I'm so grateful for this, you know what I mean? But like, you had a completely different perspective of looking at it, and because you went through that, it actually allowed you to have the time to focus on your business and do all that more, so it ended up being like something that ended up benefiting, which it's cool to see, like, some of the stuff that you've been able to do there. So, say, when you first got in here, did you have like any experience that was going to help you in internet marketing or help you with anything like this, or did you come in green?
Yeah, like I said, I was turning wrenches before this. I didn't know anything about a computer, okay? I mean, I knew how to hook up a diagnostic tool to a car, and it would tell me what's wrong with it, and then I would go turn wrenches to fix it. That's about all I knew about a computer. So when I came into this, you know, I knew how to surf on Google and on YouTube and stuff like that, and turn on a computer and stuff, but besides that, I mean, I didn't know anything more than anyone else. I mean, most people probably knew more than me. I probably couldn't even hook up a printer to a computer.
That's like, so like, okay, so you come in, no experience, you return in wrenches, so nothing really that was going to be applicable to this. How was the process coming in? Was how was it getting started to where you are now? How was the process? It
was extremely simple. I mean, you could literally follow the training that was put in place and these step-by-step training videos and have no idea what you just did, but you're going to have it set up at the end. You could literally have no idea what you just did, and you're already done. Okay, it was so simple. You can watch these videos anytime, as many times as you want, and just really follow it as you follow what you're doing while you're watching the video. Watch a little bit, go and do it. It was extremely simple. I mean, you don't even know how to turn on a computer to do this. It was that simple.
That's so awesome. And it's funny because it really is that simple when you have it broken down and have it simplified like this. What do you feel like is, now that you're being able to create success, what's the biggest thing that you like the most about what you do now? The
biggest thing I like, you know, most people would probably say money, but the biggest thing I like is being able to duplicate that onto other people, and also it's the transformation it's gotten myself mentally is a huge thing. And the way you look at life after everything and all the training you go through and the personal development and all that, it's huge. I mean, nothing compares to that. That's priceless in its own.
Yeah, I feel the same way, dude. And it's like everyone thinks that like it's all about the money. The thing is that the money isn't what drives you, and you're starting to get that now. You know, now you making 14 grand, or next month doing 25 or 30 or 50 or 100 grand, that's not going to really make a difference. So really what makes a difference is like how many more people you're going to be able to help, and that feeling you get. You know, you get that brand new person coming in, they finally come and get results that they didn't even realize was possible, and it's all thanks to you because of the decision that you made, which is really cool to see. What do you think was like, if someone were to come in, like, what do you think is the most important thing, and it's, you know, not even just applicable to this business, but like creating success, what do you think is the most important thing that people need to really master in order to create success?
It's the last thing anyone would think about. It has nothing to do with your tech savviness or any kind of, you know, training or anything like that. The biggest part is easily mindset. If you do not believe in yourself, you're never going to get the results. Okay, it's all about what's in your head. You have to manifest it in your mental reality before it happens in your physical.
Absolutely. So like if I wanted to develop that personal development and develop that mindset, what would I do?
Well, there's tons of books that are out there on personal development, and when you get into this community, we have a list. We like start with this book, then go to this book, and we always have a game plan for every single person coming in. Listening to audios of the books, listening to other people like inspirational speakers like Bob Proctor and stuff. There's so many different things, and it doesn't matter how busy you are. If you're too busy to go sit down and read a book for an hour, which I don't see how that's possible, but if you are, you can put an audio on in the background and let your subconscious mind take it in. And it will take it in while you're sleeping. You can do it while you're sleeping. Everybody sleeps, okay? You got time for it.
Yeah, that was one thing that I started doing a while ago, is that people don't even realize that like your conscious mind only takes in so much. So like having your subconscious that takes in everything else, like even while you're sleeping, play an audio while you're sleeping anyways. Why not have something on there that's reprogramming your subconscious mind to create success rather than just kind of laying there having nothing happen, which is cool, dude. And it's one of the things that people put off the most, is that people think that like, what's the secret there's got to be a secret strategy or something, and like that was one of the biggest things I know for myself was like getting out of my own way, and it was like I wanted to be able to make money, and I remember asking, you know, my mentor, like, what do I need to focus on? And he's telling me about personal development and reading books. I'm like, okay, I want to make a lot of money, like what do I do? He's like, well, you got to read the books. And I'm like, no, I don't know if you heard me, like I want to make money, like what do I do? And he goes, oh, you want to make money, like read the books. And it's cool seeing like what you've been able to do and accomplish just being able to do that. So do you think this is something that like everyone could do, or is it like just only special people can come do? Like, is this something everyone can do?
This is something that anyone, regardless of age, regardless of gender, regardless where you live, you can do this as long as you have that mindset or are working on to get that mindset. That's all that it takes. I cannot stress it enough. I would go as far to say that if there was 2 people that were wanting to join my team and I could only choose one of them, I would, and the one guy has no computer experience, just like I started out, no computer experience, barely knows how to turn on a computer and all that, but he has the mindset or is working on it, compared to another guy who has $100,000 in education or even $200,000. I don't care how much money you put on his education, how much he has and how long he's done it. Okay, if he's not willing to work on the mindset or doesn't have it, I'll take the other guy every single day.
I totally agree with you, dude. I see a lot of people that are extremely qualified, but what can happen too sometimes is that people get all this education and quickly fills their ego to being like, oh, I already know this, I don't need to work on that stuff. And those are the people that ends up hindering their success, or the people that are coming in brand new that are willing to be coachable and trainable, that are willing to focus on the mindset and stuff. The education stuff doesn't really matter. When you have that mindset and you're going into it, everything all of a sudden becomes easy. You can learn all of this stuff, right? It's like just like you came in, you didn't have any experience whatsoever, but what did you have? You had the willingness to learn, you were willing to be coachable and trainable, you were willing to read the books, listen to the audios, go through the training, and what do you know? You're able to accomplish stuff that most people don't even realize is possible. I mean, when I first got started and we didn't have a system, it took me 6 months to make a $25 sale. You're coming in and doing 14 grand your 3rd month in, which is insane. It's so cool to see. What would you, like if you saw someone right now, they don't have necessarily the confidence to, you know, they don't believe in themselves so much, they don't really know what to do with their lives, they're working a job they don't really like what would be the first thing that you would tell them to do in order to like take a step towards creating their life?
Yeah, if they don't have, any income, you got to get that first before investment. You got to go get an income. I mean, everybody hates jobs. I hated jobs. You hated jobs. We both worked them.
Yeah.
But to get where you want to be, you have to pay the price today so you can pay the price tomorrow. Okay, you got to go work that job you hate. You got to be good at it. You got to put the hours in and get that money up. And then, eventually it's gonna keep getting better and better and better. It's where you can just leave that job, like you and me both did, and never have to work another job again, never have to go wake up to an alarm clock again, not having to try to force yourself to go to sleep at 10 p.m. And stay up till freaking midnight or something, and you have to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to your job. I mean, that is the biggest part, and then also mindset. Mindset for every single thing. It's always the biggest part.
So say like someone was coming and they're looking to start a business, like obviously what we're doing here is a business, and you see a lot of the times, like what would you say to someone that comes in and they're like, man, Cody, like I love your story, I love seeing like what you've been able to do, it inspires me to believe that like maybe I can do this myself, but I don't have money to start up, what do I do?
Money is abundant. There's enough money on this earth right now to where if you were to disperse it evenly between every single person on earth would be a millionaire. So there's no reason for anyone to come up to me and say they can't find a way to make the money. When I first started, I didn't have any money. I maxed out my credit card to get started. I was in a head-on car wreck, lost my job, no income. I still found a way to get started. It's all about how bad they want it. If they want it bad enough, they'll find a way to get the money. Okay, they can go get a job. They already have a job. They can go get a second job. They already have a second job. They got stuff to sell. I am a big sports car guy. I sold my Corvette for ad budget. Okay. I had an older 1987 Corvette that I got from my parents for a really dirt cheap price. I loved that car, and I had so many people wanting to buy it from me throughout the time I was growing up for way more than what I ended up selling it for triple the price of what I ended up selling it for. But I sold it so cheap just to sell it super quick to get ad budget, because I knew if I get that ad budget, I can turn it into more money than what that car's worth and buy one down the road.
Absolutely, man. When you want something bad enough, you find a way. Like this is one of the things is that like people, one of the big things that I see with people going in and like if people are want to do what we do or want to do anything, but a lot of people make their decisions based on their circumstances and where they're at. And I mean, if I made mine, imagine if we did. So when we first got started, and based on our circumstances, well, we shouldn't be starting a business. We should be probably going and trying to pay off debt and trying to do other things, you know what I mean? And if we made our decisions based on that, we probably wouldn't have got started, right? But instead of doing that, to make your decisions based on your goals, based on where you want to be able to go. So you had a car that you loved, you know what I mean? It's a Corvette. I love Corvettes too, they're sick, right? But you knew that, you could either wait, you know what I mean? And maybe like it's long down the road, come up with the money for ad budget, or right now get the money for the ad budget because you want it bad. You're making your decision based on where you're wanting to go, and that's going to help you get there faster. And what do you know? Of course, now you're going through and doing $14,000 months and just crushing it because you made your decision based on where you wanted to go. I notice a lot of times that people just like don't even know what they want. So like, what would you say to someone if they come in and they're like, I don't know, I want to make money. Like what if you had a client come to you and they're like, want to do this, and I don't know, I just want to make money. What would you say to them?
If they're coming up to me and that's all they got to say is that they want to make money, instantly to me, it just doesn't seem like they're in the right mindset, because if all that you can focus on is money and that's it, and nothing else behind it, what you want to do with the money, how many people you want to help, who you want to help and all that, if all your focus is that narrow and that short term on money, it's most likely not going to come. So I always try to get people to broaden their mind. I'll ask them more questions. Well, why do you want this money? Money would be useless if we couldn't use it. So it's obvious that they don't just want money. They want that money for a reason. Do they want it to, buy a house like I did? Or do they want it to go help their family? Or do they want to, go to a charity? I want to broaden their mind and get them to really open up their mind. Because the more open your mind is, the more results you're going to get.
How important do you think it is for like people setting goals if they want to go out and accomplish stuff, and and like how do you structure that?
Yeah, goals are huge. That's another part of the personal development thing. If you do not have a starting point and an ending point, how are you supposed to reach the end? You're just going to be wandering, like, I don't know, I want to go over here, I want to go over here, and that's what people do. That's what people do these days, and that's why most people are not successful, because they do not have a goal of where they want to be, how to get there, or anything like that. Or they have it too short term. They're thinking about tomorrow. They're not thinking about next year or anything like that. That's another huge issue. Like, well, if I invest in this today, I'm not going to be able to afford my shoes tomorrow that I wanted to get, that I've been waiting for a year to get. It's like, you got to open up your mind. You got to set a goal. If your biggest goal is to get those shoes tomorrow, I can't do anything to help you. You gotta want more than that.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. And that's the thing is, like, a lot of people are so, like, they go and they'll be like, I don't have the money to start a business, but then they're going clubbing on the weekend, they're buying the newest Jordans when they come out, and it really comes down to like priorities and like whatever, a lot of people put a priority on going out and partying, and it's like, I remember this quote when I first got started, and it's like, it just came up in one of my moments on Facebook, and it was like, all you guys are going out and partying every weekend, like, what are you, if you're not where you're at in life, like, what are you guys celebrating? You know what I mean? Because there's so many people that are going out, and it's just like almost to escape, you know what I mean, from the life. Like, so many people are, we saw the stat the other day, and it was like 73% of people hate their job. You know what I mean? But they stay with it. You know what I mean? So of course they're going out and getting drunk every weekend. Of course they're going and doing that. Most people don't even realize stuff like this exists. What would you say to someone that, like, they see this now, they see your story, they hear you, and they're sitting on the fence, they're like, I just don't know. Like, what would you say to someone that's looking at this as an opportunity for them to create a better life for themselves, but they're just a little bit on the fence, they don't know?
Yeah, I have people come up to me all the time, people that I don't know, people that I know, people I went to high school with. I mean, I got family members come up to me. I'll say the same thing to every single one. It doesn't matter who they are. I'm not here to force you to do what I do, okay? I understand it's not right for every single person on earth. Okay, I'm here to give you the facts. I'm here to show you what I do, and you make your own decision based off of what I show you. I'm not going to be here and be like, hey, you should join us, you should join us. Why aren't you joining? I'm not here to force anyone. If they want it bad enough, they will see what's there, and they will join. I'm just here to deliver the facts. If they have questions, I'll answer them and stuff like that, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're not in the business of convincing anyone. You know what I mean? There's so many people out there that would kill for an opportunity to be able to see stuff like this. Most people just don't even realize that stuff like this is possible, right? They look out, there's so much crap out there where, there's courses or people are, I remember Julian and myself, we'd go and buy courses for $1,000 here, $5,000 here, and you never hear from the person again, or the training was crap, and there's all that. So I can understand when there's a part of someone that's a little bit skeptical and wondering, like, what if, you know what I mean? But there's always that other part. There's always that other part of you that goes, you know, like, what if it did work? What if I can create a life by my own design? And so, like, I hope when they start to see, like, your story, like, you came in, no experience, never been in the industry before. You didn't really have anything. I think it was the first time even being on camera or anything, right? And you're perfectly natural. It was fine, right? But you were able to come in, and because of the mindset that you have when you're coming in, you're able to create results that most people don't even realize is possible. And what's cool is that mindset, which is the most important part, is something that anyone can learn. You know what I mean? Anyone that's willing to put in the time, effort, and energy to really set the time aside and take this information in and actually apply it to their life can able to come in and get results that you're doing. One of the cool things that I remember when you first got in was, like, you came in, it was so funny, dude, because it was the first, few days you're in, and you're on so we have on our team hangouts, we got, we bring out success stories of people, they share their stories, and you come in 3 days in, and we're like, hey, who wants to come out and say hi? And you come out and you're like, I'm going to be on here permanently, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. And we had no idea who you were, we had no idea what your name was. Surely enough, a month, 2 months later, you're on there every week, you're doing all this stuff. How much value do you put on, like, speaking your reality into existence?
Yeah, that's, like I said, you will never ever in your life, I don't care what it is, how big it is, you will never be able to get anything in your life into your physical reality until it's in your mental reality. I talk to people all the time about stuff that they want to do, and almost every single person, they're like, yeah, I want to do this, but I know I can't. It's like, well, yeah, I know you can't too, because you just told yourself you can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much I believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself, it doesn't matter how many people are there for you. You got to have it in yourself first.
Yeah, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Mm-hmm. Henry Ford had a great quote on that, and it's cool. So, like, when you came in, how was, like, for someone on the outside to kind of see, because it's like, there's a lot of crap where people buy and then they're never talked to again, there's no support, there's no everything. What's it been like as it being a part of the community, like being inside of the community and the support in there?
Yeah, I would morally say family than community. It's a huge, it's definitely like my second family. Through my car wreck, they were there for me more than anyone else, the community. Through every single part in my life, good and bad, they were there for me. When I got my new house, they were there for me and congratulating me more than anyone else. They are always there for you 24/7, doesn't matter where you live, who you are, anything like that. There's always people there for you 24/7, and it's great because, like you said, most other places out there do not have that. They'll act like it. They'll be like, hey, we're always here for you, we got this, 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 and then as soon as they get your money, they're gone. And it's sad that they're out there, but it's great being a part of this and knowing that it's not anything like that.
So what's cool is that I see, like, you're constantly, you're working on yourself, you're listening to audios, you're reading books, you're constantly adding more value on the inside, because the more knowledge that you have, the more value you can provide to the marketplace, the more people you're going to be able to help. I never even believed in myself. For the very first time, I've had people believe in me. And we get that all the time where you only get that in a family. You know what I mean? You come in, you get a part of that, and people are believing, for the very first time, they're having people believe in them before they even believe in themselves. And sometimes that's what people need. Sometimes they're in a spot where it's like, it can be frustrating. You can be in an environment where you never get that, support. You never get that. And you finally come into a family where everyone's believing in you and motivating you, inspiring you, and you finally realize that there's a part of you that, like, you can finally go out and achieve your dreams and accomplish things that you've always wanted. And it's really cool to see when you have that type of family, and that's one thing that we've always been a big stand for, is having that family-like community together. How big is like masterminding? Like, if you were to have a mastermind or have any experience on that, how big has that been towards creating the success that you've created so far?
That's another huge key in it, and it ties directly in to personal development. Because if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, you're gonna naturally pick up on it. No matter if you believe it or not, you're gonna naturally pick up on it, and you're gonna start becoming just like them. Okay, I had a bunch of friends in high school, like best friends, always hanging out with them and always partying and stuff in high school, wasn't in the right mindset. But once I realized really where to get your mind and everything and what you need to do, I haven't hung out with them ever since. They still do not have jobs. They're living off unemployment. They're partying every day. I just couldn't surround myself around that. And that's a huge thing about masterminding. Okay, I made sure I got myself out there. Just like you said, I joined the webinar 3 days in, and I made sure I got myself out there. I hounded Eric Carlson, my mentor, all the time until he finally would start messaging me back. I made sure to surround myself with the people that I want to be like, and that's a huge part of why I'm here. You need to find people who have the results you want and hang around them, listen to them, and don't take what they tell you and question it. Okay, I've had where, Carlson and even you have told me to do things. It's like, in my mind, like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, it almost makes me mad. I'm like, it makes me mad because I know I have to do it. It's like, not makes me mad because I don't believe in it. It makes me mad because it just doesn't really, it's not in my mind yet. Yeah. And I know I have to do it. It's like, it doesn't make sense, but I got to do it. And
then you do it and it works. You're like, ah.
And then it makes sense now. It's like, that's why. That's why I got to read this book.
I get that to me all the time. He's like, read these books, listen to these audios, do these things. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't do it. And then I do it. I neglected that part for so long, the mindset stuff, and I neglected it, and I never had success for the longest time until I finally caved, and I was like, you know what, I'll listen. Okay, and I finally listen, I read the books, I'm like, that's why I gotta read the books. That's the big part I was missing that whole time. You are who you surround yourself by. That was something that my dad even told me all growing up, and I never really understood it, and I would hang around with, the kids that would smoke dope every day and party, just like kind of what you're saying, and, he's like, you are who you surround yourself with. You hang around with 9 broke, dopey, negative people, you're going to be the 10th one, right? And I didn't really understand that until later on when you start to realize that even if you're consciously aware and you're around people that party and they're negative and all this stuff and you're consciously aware and you're like, you know what, I'm a positive person, I'm not going to focus and listen to their negativity. I like to hang out with them because it's fun and I'm just going to block that out. You can do that with your conscious mind, but your subconscious is still taking in everything. And even if you think you're blocking out that negativity, you're taking it all in. So once I understood that, it's toxic being around those people because it's you can't help but taking it in. You can't control your subconscious mind. That's just what happens. And so it's that importance of, that's why we do these team hangouts all the time. That's why we do, 2 of them a week. That's why we have a group where you can constantly get in there. That's why we encourage masterminding so you can hang around with people. I remember with my business partner, Julian, and the only time of my day, because all my friends, I had to separate myself. And it doesn't mean I don't love them. I still, every once in a while, I'll hang out with them. But they weren't where I wanted to be in my life, and I knew hanging around them wasn't going to get me anywhere closer. And so the only time that I ever got that positivity and that motivation and stuff was Skyping with Julian. I had a mastermind with Julian, and every day we would get on and do that. And that was one big thing that pushed me forward, was having that person to they're in the same mindset, they're positive, you can bounce ideas back and forth, and it allowed me to get to where I wanted to go twice as fast. How much value do you put on having a mentor having a mentor versus figuring stuff out on your own?
Well, it really depends on the person that it has the mentor, just like I was saying. If you're not going to listen to them and you're just going to say, okay, I'll do it, and then you're going to go watch TV, the mentor is not going to be able to do anything for you, but the mentor can only do things for you if you want it just as bad, if you put that effort in. They will lessen all your efforts. They will lessen the time it takes to get there. But if you're not willing to listen to them, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. You got to do what they say. Yeah. I mean, just like an example, just a little bit ago, I wasn't too successful yet, and you told me, go hire someone to do your coaching calls. I was like, I want to make money. I don't want to spend money. It's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It's coming out of my ad budget and stuff. And you're like, no, focus on what you're good at and hire someone else to do the coaching calls. And I was like, that just doesn't make any sense, but you said it, so we're going to see what happens. Okay, I don't think about it in oh, what if it doesn't work?
Yeah.
You just got to do it and he told you to do it. He has the results you want, so it's going to work.
Absolutely.
And here I am, and it's working.
You learn from 2 places. You learn from mistakes and mentors. And I am sick and tired of learning from mistakes. And I mean, there's some things that you gotta obviously, blaze trail and make some mistakes and learn stuff. That's something that's always gonna happen. But any time I can cut that learning curve and just get, you know, the information from a mentor that has the results that I'm looking to achieve, it makes things so much easier. And it's like, yeah, just that one simple thing. And it's like the perception is like, but I make more money if I'm not paying that money to do the call. But it comes to a point where you physically only have so much time in the day. Now you're spending all this time here where you're doing something that, you know, you like to do and you're making a little bit of money, but your most valuable asset and skill set that you have is being neglected. Well, not neglected, but not as much time and effort and energy is being focused there. So now when you have that alleviated, it's still getting done and it's still making you money, right? You're paying to have that completely managed for you so that you can focus on something that you are extremely talented at and have done amazing at, which is awesome. So someone sees this, they're looking to get started. What would be the first thing they do right now? What do? They're pumped. They see this. They want to be Cody. What do they do?
It's really simple. Just have an open mind. That's all you gotta have. Have an open mind. Don't block things out until you try it. And the only way to fail at anything is to quit. So take something and run with it. That's all.
Absolutely, dude. That's awesome, dude. Thanks so much, brother. Killing the game. Now we got to go on a trip, dude. Where do we want to go? We haven't traveled anywhere. We're going to go to what? Costa Rica or like Colombia, Thailand or something. Where do you want to go? You want to go to, where was it?
Big White.
Oh, we're going to go snowboarding.
Yeah, we're going
What
snowboarding.
was it?
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua. You got to do that. That's so cool, dude.
San Juan del Sur.
Let's do it, buddy. Love it, dude. Thanks, boss.